everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. So today I'm going to talk about the upcoming full moon that will happen in the sign of Leo on the 1st or 2nd of February, depending on your location, 2026 at 13 degrees. And I will start off with describing this full moon in general. And then I'm going to dive into each and every single sign. Now, most accurate is your rising sign. And for additional information, you can also check your sun sign and your moon sign. So if you're new to my channel, I combine my knowledge of astrology with my intuition, and you will see that reflected in this video. So let's start with looking at this full moon. Alrighty. So this full moon, right, in the sign of Leo. And when we look at the sign of Leo, it rules the fifth house. This is all about creativity. Leo is the sunshine. It wants to be recognized. It wants to follow a passion. And the sign of Leo, or the energy of Leo, is happy when it can fully put their heart into something. So this is a fantastic time to start a new hobby, to work on a creative project, to work on certain skills, right? This is where you want to be maybe even recognized for a skill. It's in an opposition with the sun, right? Always with the full moon, it's in opposition with the sun in Aquarius, Venus, and Mercury. Now, Venus, Mercury, and the Sun are in a conjunction, which is a beautiful alignment, right? This is for creativity. This is great for harmonious speech. But then we also have, in a conjunction on the other side, Mars and Pluto. And this is a bit more intense, right? Because Pluto is all about transformation. This is about bringing things from the underworld into the light so things can be transformed, right? So things can be, shadow aspects can be visible. And it's up to us, it's up to the collective, because we're talking about Aquarius here, right? To see how we deal with that. And first, when we get triggered, we get angry. That's Mars, right? It can get angry. It's like, I don't want to see these things. I don't want to know these things. And it can be about yourself. It can be about certain organizations, because you're talking about Aquarius here ruling the 11th house. This is about the masses. This is about organizations. This is about friendships. Okay, so changes in friendships. Um, you might actually get rewarded for a certain skill, right? And yeah, some people in your organization or in your surroundings, your friends, they might really feel a little bit jealous. So you will get some controversial reactions to that, okay? And it can be, so for example, the fifth house or Leo is also about children. So announcement of children, announcement of a new relationship. So announcement of pregnancy, obviously. And people are going to be like, oh, that's nice. And then some people are a bit triggered. Okay. And very often it has to do with projection. It has to do with fears. It has to do with why them and not me, right? Because it can trigger sometimes when you have some good news to share. Okay. So if you're going to launch something or share something, just be aware that things might trigger, it might trigger something in other people. But at the same time, this is an opportunity for healing, right? Like each bad aspect, each bad planet is really helping you to heal. And that's what I've seen with people who have difficult charts. For example, they have the strongest characters. If you're an old soul or you're someone that can take accountability and is open to growth, I've seen such strong personalities forming there. Okay, so um, you can have whatever chart, but it's really up to us, our free will, to work things through or to decide to ignore it. Okay. Now, Aquarius, we have so much Aquarius, right? So it almost outweighs this weights, this moon in Leo. Now, Aquarius is also about freedom. It's about thinking outside of the box. It's about equality. So where we don't see equality in our lives, maybe you want to stand up for that, right? Well, we'll see protests. We'll see this public anger. developments in, innovative developments that might be a little controversial. Like, we see so much technology. Like, is that good for us? Do we want robots in our home? Is that something that we're going to be happy with? It's going to create a lot of jobs in tech, but also it's going to, take away jobs. So you'll see that there's this kind of this anger coming up. But at the same time, there is a possibility for healing and for looking at positive aspects for the future. And we can do that by thinking outside of the box and by understanding that we are not divided. We are not you versus us. We are all a soul in a human body. And if we see it like that, we don't have to look at all the other difficulties, right? And that will take away a lot of inequality, understanding and trying to understand each other a little bit better. And even life choices. Like, we cannot always judge because we haven't been through what the person has been through. So we can't always judge why someone is choosing something or why someone is reacting a certain way. And I have to remind it myself sometimes. So whatever is happening, whatever reactions you see, sometimes people will be triggered. This could be friendships, right? Could be reacting to you a little bit in a triggering way. It's just understand that this is coming from their own shadow aspect and their own fear, and you can point it out, or you can kind of, in a calm way, trying to, mediate the situation. Okay. So yeah, definitely new projects, new ideas, people launching new things, announcing pregnancy, announcing a new project, maybe showing a new skill in the public, which is very scary, right? It's easier to comment on YouTube than really doing it yourself. It's so easy to spread negativity, but please keep in mind that it's already a big step to put your face out there and to show the skill. And I can tell that also from my own perspective, it's not so easy to do that. Okay. So I think we should be a little nicer to each other. And if something is not your thing, just go away and think, like, you know what? But at least that person took the time to do work or to prepare something or to share a skill. Okay. Um, yeah. Collective, did I forget something? Yeah, sudden changes. And we're gonna be in eclipse season soon, okay? We're gonna have an eclipse on the 17th of February, also in Aquarius. So we have a very Aquarian vibe, which is unexpected. Yeah, it's kind of expect the unexpected month, okay? So be open to change, be open to think outside of the box. New developments will come forward, and see what is good for you, okay? What works for you. I'm ready to go to all the signs, actually. I don't want to talk too long. So we have for Aries, Sun, and Rising. So we have this full moon in Leo in your fifth house at 13 degrees. Okay, I can't get that straight on the charts, but at least you can see which house it is in. And it's especially beneficial if your rising sign, because I'm using the whole house system to make it most accurate for everyone. But check your own degree of the rising sign. If it's around 13 degrees, you're going to be especially highly impacted. Okay. A lot of creative ideas, creative outbursts, a skill, a new hobby that you're figuring out, maybe showing to the public, right? Like a lot of things that I said in the introduction is applying to you, Aries. Like you're showing something to the public. And there's going to be some controversial reactions. Like some people are going to love what you're doing. Some people might be a little bit, triggered or a bit more mean. But listen to your own intuition, okay? Listen to your own intuition. And if there's something you want to bring forward, then, do so. An announcement of pregnancy, creative projects, romance. And for some of you, Aries, you can meet someone as well in the public, okay? Or among friends, network groups, conferences, okay? If you're going also on a conference, be aware who you share your ideas with, okay? Because we still have Pluto, Mars, people out there that really love your idea, and they're gonna be like, you know what? Do you have a patent on that? Because if you don't, I might just grab that idea. So only share what you want to share. Transformations happening in your friendships, okay? And you're going to have to see how you're going to resolve it. So if some triggering situations come up, use your Venus, Mercury, Sun side to mediate. And if there's no way to work things out, that can also be a peaceful way to end things, right? Like, but try to see what can be done. Where do things come from? Which shadow aspects come forward on both sides, and see if you can work it out. So yeah, a workshop. Maybe some of you want to arrange a workshop, or you're gonna have a talk to the public. And yeah, like I said, people are gonna be a little triggered with Pluto conjunct Mars, especially if you're in tech as well, right? Maybe you're working on some tech projects. Let's see, assertiveness. Assertiveness. So it's time to stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. I think this is such an important card that a lot of you Aries, some of you are definitely going to be in the protest I was talking about in the introduction, but also standing up for your own beliefs, right? If you believe that something is what you really want to do, and we can't be perfect all the time, right? Like we also have to learn, we have to fail. Like some things you do are going to be good. If you're a singer, sometimes you reach the high note, and sometimes you know, your throat is not the best and you don't reach it, but you become better. It's just life, right? And nowadays it's not so easy anymore to do things because people become so critical. Like lately I saw people making fun of people dancing, how people danced in the past or how people performed, but at that time it was just people were easier happy and impressed by things. And now because there's so much competition and so many things, that people become more judgmental. Okay, so um yeah, the most important thing with this full moon in Leo is that you do something that you love. Okay, look at that. Be yourself, Aries. Be yourself. That's most important. And what we have here, connect to nature. Connect to nature. You're rounding up Saturn as well in the 12th house, and it's going to go in your sign on the 13th of February. And that's going to create a new cycle, okay? Maybe new responsibilities. And it's very important for you that after the 13th, that you're going to take things slow, okay? Don't rush. Like Aries, you're a fast sign. I want to get things done now, fast. But after Saturn is in your sign, it's about slow development, create a good plan. And if you can persevere, persist, you're going to do absolutely great. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Aries. Let's move on to Taurus. So Taurus, Sun and Rising. For you, we have this full moon in Leo in your fourth house at 13 degrees in your fourth house. That's what I said. So Leo there, okay? It's time for you to reconnect with family. Some of you are also moving for a job, okay? We have so many planets there in your 10,000 Aquarius, but you know, it could be a bit difficult. So maybe you like the place where you're going to live, but the work is um you need to arrange some things at work. Maybe there's some disagreements with the setup, and it could be that you're moving for a new job, but it could also be that your company is saying like, hey Taurus, I want you to be in a different department in a different country or in a different area in your country. Okay, so you might just move for work. It could be that your family is supporting you, right? Because Leo is wanting to be recognized. So maybe your family is helping you. They're telling you, you know, take this step. And if it's going to be a little bit difficult, you resolve it. Because Pluto and Mars, they're in the 10th house. Some of you Taurus, you're going to deal with maybe a difficult boss, right? Like someone who authority figures that maybe are preventing you from really excelling in something, or there's just a disagreement. So try to talk to your family or be at home and be in your own zone, relax a little bit, come back to work and see if you can work things out, okay? Yeah, standing your ground, because the fourth house is also about your roots. How grounded are you? How secure within yourself are you, right? Because when we have opposite houses, they support each other and it needs to be balanced. That's what happens with a full moon, especially people are born with a full moon as well, right? It's about balancing the two areas in your life. Okay, yeah, spending time with family, but could be very demanding. Or maybe you have to run to your laptop or you have to take phone calls, and it's just like, yeah, taking away a little bit of the quality time with family. So I'm getting pregnancy with Leo ruling the fifth house. For some of you, this is pregnancy. And of course, that is more difficult when you have to work, right? Especially for women. For men as well, maybe you have to prepare some things, but for women with the hormones and everything, so it could be that, yeah, that it's taking away some things. It's also symbolic for new projects, okay? Um, yeah, you could even be wanting to expand family and looking for a new house, looking for a new job to be able to pay for that, okay? I'm getting travel here. Yeah, you have Jupiter there in your third house, so maybe you have to move around, travel for work, going to places where you've been before, especially because Jupiter is still retrograde. It's going to go direct in March, which is going to be very positive. An upcoming trip proves to be life-changing in positive ways. So, yeah, definitely family is going to be your support. And, if you don't have your biological family, this is also just the people that root you, the people that you say or you choose to be your family. Do some research. So maybe you need to do some good research for your work, okay? And you find out some controversial information because we're talking about Pluto and Mars here. So there could be some information about a boss, like should I share this or not? About an organization, about the company that you work for, okay? Like some literally have to have, there's going to be companies with a whistleblower or something that, yeah, is figured out. Okay, Neptune now in your 12th house, okay? So this is this is a very spiritual alignment, very creative. And so yeah, working behind the scenes on creative projects or meditating, like maybe you're finding some hobbies also that are just entertaining you behind the scenes and making you feel more calm. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Taurus. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time. So let's move on to Gemini. So Gemini, Sun, and Rising. For you, we have this full moon in Leo in your third house. And this has to do with maybe taking a short trip, okay? But we do have this whole bunch in Aquarius, almost outweighing the moon in Leo. Okay. So it could be that you're being recognized for your knowledge, for your skills, your communication skills. Okay. But there might be some reaction towards that, right? People who are gonna go a little bit against what you are saying. So if you're a teacher, for example, you might be sharing something that is going to be taken the wrong way. Okay. So make sure you prepare your speech, make sure you prepare as a teacher, and yeah, leave out anger because we have Pluto and Mars together. It's better to, you should stand up for your beliefs, but be careful to not mix your personal beliefs with what you're teaching, okay? Because there might be some consequences coming your way if that is done. It is a good time for research. It is a time to investigate. So do research in certain areas, maybe even, I don't want to call it conspiracy because sometimes it's not, right? But reading into more taboo subjects, let's say taboo subjects, spirituality, and some of you want to learn about mythology, you want to learn about cultures, okay? And, even if you're going abroad, so if you're traveling overseas, that's going to be a little bit more complicated than doing a short trip. Okay. So be aware of transportation if you're driving, or just look at the schedules. Is everything in order? And also, if you drive, don't drive angry about this time. Okay. Yeah, speech of bravery, because Mars Pluto can also make you super intense about something, like really passionate, but it can give mixed reactions. Bringing forward new perspectives on the future. So you can also open people's minds. Like ninth house is already higher perspective, and Aquarius is really thinking outside of the box. So you have a talent for really showing new perspectives, like helping people see how things also are possible. You could be traveling to or with your siblings, right? And that can be very healing, this trip. This can show you a lot of things that are going to be healing. Okay. Also, if you buy transport, it can be the right one, but just be careful driving. Okay. Just be a little careful in that area, Gemini. I want to fly out. Travel. Yes. Here we go. Some of you are going to travel. Okay. But yeah, watch the schedules, watch out for, maybe the operators or things are not going completely well. Everybody has this transit right now of Pluto Mars. So, summer debt paid off. So, some of you are you're a bit in a karmic situation. Okay, could be that you are really working off a lot of karma right now. Okay, the habit of debt is lifted from you and your life. So you're able to dissolve a lot of karma. So if anything is coming up, make sure to look at it, right? Because Pluto Mars can sometimes also bringing a fixated way of viewing things. But now is the time to open up and to share that with others, that what is being right, because we don't know. Like, we can share information and people can make up their own minds, right? And you could point that out in other people as well, like, listen, we don't know everything. How can we possibly know everything? I'm getting summer, so some of you are preparing or booking a trip for this summer. Maybe you want to go somewhere that, yeah, is more cultural, or somewhere you can learn something like a language or study, or yeah, doing some kind of workshop to improve your skills. Okay. So even if you're studying as well, there might be some obstacles coming, but walk away, go into nature, come back, and keep going. Okay, because it's normal, this happens with this alignment especially, but take it one step at a time, my lovely Gemini. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time. So let's move on to Cancer. So my lovely Cancer sun, moon, and rising. For you, we have this full moon in Leo, your second house. Okay, this is all about, feeling worthy of, earning money or having certain possessions, thinking differently about money, right? Money is not evil. You can do many good things with money. Okay, maybe there's new more income coming in for you. Okay, it's just be very careful where you put your money right now. Okay, because we have Pluto and Mars in a conjunction in your eighth house. So investments, like, watch out for scams. We also have Venus, the Sun, and Mercury. But it's time to do your research. Do good research. If anything needs to be resolved when it comes to taxes or paperwork, then yes, that will come up right now. So any mistakes or anything that needs to be settled, it needs to be done around this time. Okay. Same if you're working on, visa papers, any type of paperwork, look at it right now if it needs some attention, okay? Yeah, be careful with investments, shared resources. Like, it could be that you're starting to make a lot of money and then you need to have good agreements. Like, some people share everything in partnerships, some people have different agreements. So you need to really clearly discuss how you want things to be in your marriage, in your relationship, okay? Yeah, more income, inheritance. Yes, maybe an inheritance and the division of it. And it could be some mediation that needs to happen. Okay, like how are we going to divide this? Well, let's talk about it, right? Like let's talk about how to divide it. The key is to stay calm and transform what is being shown, because eighth house is also about your inner fears, your phobias, like fear of betrayal. So it could be that maybe more money is coming in, or you have certain possessions and you just feel like, what if I have this? It can be taken away. Or what if I share that with someone? Or what if I share my fears in general? What if I'm, what if I think I'm doing well and I'm going to lose this sense of self-worth? So look at these fears that are coming up, because they're telling you a lot about what needs to be healed, right? In the eighth house, we can transform and we can heal our inner fears. And it's okay to feel fear of betrayal or fear of something, right? If you're in a good relationship, you can discuss this and you can see how to overcome that. If you're afraid to discuss anything in your relationship, that's not good, right? You shouldn't be on eggshells around someone. So, I'm not saying anything. People have to make their own decisions. But and talking from my own experience, right? Like in the past, that I was in a relationship where I was so afraid to talk about something because someone would explode or be so angry. And now I'm in a partnership and we can really talk about anything and find a solution. And it's so peaceful, right? This is what it's supposed to be. But, when you don't have that uh, example when you grow up, it's hard to know that that's possible too. Okay. But it's okay to face our fears. It's a positive thing because that means that you know what to work on and what to heal. Okay. So that's my message for you. Did I draw you a card? No, I didn't, Cancer. Okay. Let's do that. Connect with nature. So nature can be very, very healing for you right now. Okay. Very healing. Patience. So maybe what you want requires a little bit of patience, but after your patience, it's gonna come your way. New career, like maybe some of you cancers, you're waiting for a new career, or and especially with this placement, right? All in the eighth house, accountants, surgeons, medical research, all these kind of things, you might actually get a breakthrough moment because Pluto and Mars are quite obsessive, okay? Just be aware on how you share things, but you can definitely expose and find a lot of things right now, okay? Especially if you're in those areas. If you're in psychology or these type of jobs, you're really able to go very deep and help people transform in many, many ways. Okay. Also, if you work with in a hospice, for example, or things like that, like you might find new ways on how to help people literally transition, right? Because the eighth house you can physically help people transition, or you can help people transform psychologically, because we always go into new cycles. And sometimes we need to shred skin and go to the next cycle because it's going to be more beneficial to us, which not always we see in the moment, but we can see that later. Okay. So, yeah, that's my message for you, my lovely Cancer. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time. So, Leo, for you, we have this full moon in your sign at 13 degrees. So, you're going to be highly impacted, especially if your moon is around 13 degrees. Okay. And we have this opposition with so much Aquarius there in your seventh house. Okay. So there could be some situation where you need to talk with your partner. So if you're in a relationship, romantic relationship, now is the time to heal those wounds, to heal. Maybe your partner is bringing up something. Maybe it's going to be you who brings up something, but now you can talk together, work things out with, Aquarius is thinking outside of the box. And we have the sun with Venus and Mercury. And the moon in your sign is saying, don't overshare, overgive, or give away something to keep a relationship or to keep this business partnership, right? Seventh house is also business partnerships. It has to be equal. So where is it not equal? What do you need and want to feel? What do you need to be whole and complete? Are you verbalizing it? Are you talking about it? Is your partner talking about it? So there's going to be so much healing taking place. And, if you are not in a relationship and you're single, you're going to look at, what can you do, Leo, to fully love yourself and to fully be ready for that relationship. And sometimes it's just so because Pluto in the seventh house can really bring in people that are so charming and looks like everything is together, but the people who needs to put up this mask to be liked or something like that, it's just not always what it seems, right? So it's very important to take your time when you're meeting someone new this month, because we're also going to have an eclipse on the 17th, and it's going to be a square with Uranus. So changes in partnerships, business partnerships, and having new innovative ways on looking at a relationship, on looking at business partnership. How can you make things work without losing your identity, without losing yourself? So that's going to be very important for you around this time, Leo. Connect with nature. I hope that for almost everyone. Okay, so it's time to have a walk in nature. You have Jupiter there in the 12th house, so your intuition is on point. We have the North Node there in a trine with Jupiter in your 8th house. So listen to that intuition, Leo. Springtime, okay? So it might be that you're working on something now, and by spring, you're going to see some results, which is going to be quite soon. Okay. Spring is going to be soon already. Debt paid off. So sometimes you have to pay karma, right? Sometimes there's something from a past life that we haven't learned yet. Sometimes someone is coming back. Oh, sweetie. Someone is coming back to, you know, set the record straight. And the best we can do is forgive them and say, thank you for this lesson. So now like maybe this is not how I'm supposed to do it anymore. Maybe I'm going to deal with things a different way. So everybody we meet is going to bring a lesson until we get the lesson. Okay. So, yeah, I can give example even in my own life, right? Where I had constantly failed relationships because my boundaries were very bad. I was attracted to the wrong type of person that was not a match for me, that in my mind was a match for me, because maybe, when you're younger, especially in your beginning 20s or teenage years, you have this image of what should be good for you, right? And not looking at the inner world, like who can be your best friend, who can you grow old with, what do you have in common, like how can you be in peace and not lose yourself when you're with someone. You're not supposed to lose yourself with someone or into someone if it's intense and all consuming. How are you going to do your job? How are you going to go do all the other things? Okay, so it's important that you first look at what needs to be healed, right? And sometimes you don't have to be completely perfect before you meet someone. I mean, that's not what it is. You're going to meet someone where you're at, what your karma is. It's way more complex than that. But we need to start with what we have control over and how we can learn and how to sustain a relationship. Okay. So even if you're in a partnership, talk things through, see what you need and what your partner needs, and talk about that. Okay. So yeah, that would be my message for you, my amazing Leos. I'm sending you so many blessings, and until next time. So let's move on to Virgo. So Virgo, we have this full moon in Leo at 13 degrees in your 12th house. Okay. Now, 12th house is all about resting, dreams, working behind the scenes, because Leo is so creative. So Virgo, maybe you want to do a hobby just to give you peace of mind. Maybe you start to draw, listen to music, write, express yourself, and you're going to do it for yourself, right? Because you need some peace. We have so many planets in Aquarius. They're in your 6,000 in opposition with this moon. So diet and health is very important. Okay. So take that very serious. If anything comes up, because Pluto is showing you what has been hidden with health, with routines, what is working for you and what is not working with you. Like if you have any intolerances, listen to that. If your body is rejecting something, that means it's not good for you. Are you doing the right sport for you? Right? Is that because Aquarius is air. So anywhere you feel anxiety or something is coming up, right? Listen to where this anxiety is coming from. Is this from a past, right? Uh, the moon in Leo in the 12th house also has to do with past life. Sometimes it's a phobia or something has to do with a past life, right? Some of you will do past life regression, but you can watch your dreams, look at your dreams, write them down, meditate, and you will see you will get some answers, okay? Also, sixth house is your work, so your colleagues. So there might be some tension with your colleagues. Maybe you're just not really understanding each other. So what is needed here is to take rest, come back, and talk about where you can transform, where you can talk about certain things. Like, why is this happening? Okay. Like I can tell there's maybe some jealousy or gossip or disagreements, but why is this happening? And talk about it in a calm manner. Okay. Be angry at home, get yourself together, go back. Okay. The sixth house is also regarding your lovely, lovely pets. So look at the health of your pets. Are they doing okay? Right? Make sure that they're okay. If not, bring them to the vet. Some of you will get a new animal, so you spend some more time with yourself. You don't feel like you're alone. And sometimes with a pet, it's just so much better company. It's just so much nicer. Okay. So if you rest, if your body says you need rest, listen to that. And also, inspiration might be coming up when you are resting, when you are meditating. You get all these new ideas. So, listen to these feelings. Okay, let me get you a card, my lovely, lovely Virgo. All right. Yeah, some of you are doubting a little bit, okay? Having some doubts and having some guilt, right? Um, Like some people are guilty, feeling guilty to be happy. What if I have everything? What if I lose everything when I have it? What if I trigger people when I'm happy? What if I'm happier alone? You know, you have to listen to what makes you happy and not feel guilty about it. Because sometimes you can go somewhere and you say, like, I don't know, riding horses makes me happy. And people are like, why? Why? But it's their opinion. So don't doubt yourself when someone is giving you a different opinion. Okay. This was just an example. Same in the job. Like, this is how you are dealing with things, and it works for you, and you can prove it and you prove the results. Don't doubt yourself. Just keep going. And, it works. It's like when people doubt about astrology, and I've had so many readings already, and it's just mind blowing how accurate it is. But you first have to do your research and study. And, if you want to stand for something, if you know that this is your belief system, this is what you stand for, then you have to keep going. Don't feel guilty about it. Not everyone has to agree with you or to love you, right? It sometimes just has to do with you following that passion. Okay. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Virgo. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let's move on to Libra, my lovely, lovely Libras. We have this full moon at 13 degrees in your 11th house. And it's opposing the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto, all in the sign of Aquarius in the 5th house. Okay. So there might be some creative skills that you're bringing forward to the masses, right? You could be posting videos on social media. You could be, yeah, show a skill on YouTube, do a workshop, talk on a conference. The thing is with Pluto and Mars, that this insecurity, this perfectionism might come up. Like, am I talented enough? Do I know what I'm saying? Do I know what I'm doing? So there might be some doubts coming up, and you might feel very strict, right? You feel strict for yourself. Like, maybe what I'm saying is wrong. The thing is that we have also Venus and Mercury there with the sun. So try to be harmonious with yourself. Just be yourself with whatever it is that you're doing. The best is to be yourself. Okay. If you meet someone new, take your time, right? Fifth house is also romance, and you might meet someone at this conference, or if you're out and about, if you're among friends, okay, that you might meet someone new, but look at the intentions of this person because it's Pluto Mars. It's a very like intense, almost like sexual energy. So see what people actually want and what they have to offer. So take your time getting to know someone. Okay. Um, yeah, if you're pregnant, some of you are going to announce it as well. But also, if you're pregnant, don't overmove. Don't go too crazy, okay, with movement. Same with children. There might be some tension with your kids. There might be some anger coming up on their side as well. So try to mediate, try to see where this anger comes from, because Pluto is giving global anger. And we have to see where this comes from. So ask your kids, like depending on their age, right? But why are you angry? Where is this coming from? How can we resolve this? How we can improve the situation, okay? Creative skills, hobbies, okay? It's really now going to be very beneficial. And even spending time with friends. Maybe your friends are going to give you a lot of creative ideas, and you want to, because fifth house is also inner child, like bring forward a message on how you felt as a child, okay? Or healing the inner child through your skills, through your arts, through your photography, okay? A lot of Aquarius fifth house are very good at photography, design, these things, okay? Daughter, yeah, if you have a daughter, talk to your child, okay? Vegetarian, so we do have the North Node in the sixth house. It's trined by Jupiter in the 10th, okay? So some of you want to have a little bit of a healthier diet. Could be vegetarian, but also could be a little bit more plant-based. And yeah, vegetables in general is good for us, right? So have a balanced diet according to your body, because each body type needs something else. So I cannot say what is better, because I know there's so many diets out there, so many things that are possible for people, and it's just so confusing. So I always say I cannot tell you what's your best diet. You can check Ayurveda, or you can check different ways to see what your body needs. Love life. So yeah, things could be changing in your love life. Neptune just went in your seventh house. Okay, so watch out for those pink colored glasses, what Neptune does. Okay. That you really take your time getting to know someone. And yeah, did I skip something? I think I explained something. I'm not so good to work with lists. I'm more intuitive speaker, but I wanted to give like an overview, but I'm still not 100% if I'm gonna keep this in the videos or not. Yeah, I tried acting once. That's just not for me. I cannot stick with any lines. I'm not so good at remembering all these things. I rather just channel. Anyways, thank you so much, Libra, and until next time. So, Scorpio, Sun and Rising, we have this full moon in Leo in your 10th house. And for a lot of Scorpios, that means a new job. But maybe this job is telling you, you need to move. And this move could bring some obstacles, okay? So moving for an existing job, maybe you're being sent to a different location. It could be that it's a new job. And Pluto and Mars are there in the fourth house. So even this new job could not have to do with location. Okay, if it's location, yeah, there could be some obstacles with housing and things like that. or with the rebuilding your house, and it just takes a lot of energy. Or your family is a bit, are you sure? Should you do that? It could be a little bit of controversial um, opinions about what you're about to do about this job. Okay. Yeah, praise in the workplace. Maybe you're being very recognized, but we have two planets, right? We have two houses in opposition with each other. And that's saying like find the right balance. So find the good balance between work and being at home, because it could be that work is doing so well and your partner is like, or your family is like, what about me? We also want to spend time with you. And there could be some frustrations there. So if anything comes up in your family, okay, a lot of karma with Pluto in the fourth, okay, and for the earlier your degree your ascendant is, well, you have to check in your own chart, because on personal charts I work with Placidus. But yeah, if Pluto is there at the cusp of the IC, right, in the fourth house, there's many changes in housing, home, but also family. And especially if it makes a square, because if you also have sun, moon, or rising in a fixed sign, you're going to also be impacted by Pluto, right? In an opposition or in a square. And if it's sun, it's father. And if it's moon, it's mother. Okay. Even Saturn is father, but also sometimes authority. So some things that need to be healed, right? And regarding your family situation. All right. Standing up also for your inner beliefs, working on this inner peace, working on trauma, maybe regarding your mother. Okay. Healing that. Whom do you need to forgive? So some of you need to forgive someone in the family, and that's going to give you so much courage and recognition in the workplace. So sometimes the root first, and then you heal, and then you get the job that you want. Okay. It could even be that some of you had to walk away in a situation, in a job, or in a family situation to, have patience, to come back to yourself, or to distance yourself a little bit to oversee how you're feeling. That's most important, because you are a water sign, and I know Scorpio, you have the shield. Like, I'm not feeling everything, but you're a water sign. You feel a lot. You could even feel the most out of all the water signs and come across as you feel nothing. I'm a Scorpio moon and rising. I can do that. Like, I can sometimes put the shield up, right? I really worked on myself to not do that anymore and to be more open. But sometimes it's kind of like a default mode. Like if we see danger, it's like we cocoon up, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to show you anything with that I'm feeling. So daughter, so children, son, daughter, um looking also at your inner child, right? Because with Leo there in the 10th, ruling the 5th, this is about being playful in the workplace. Sometimes you have to, you need to be recognized in the workplace, Scorpio, because if you feel like you're doing it for nothing, if you're like not, a little bit of praise is helpful there, okay? Especially with Leo there in the 10th house. So take the compliments if they're there. For some of you, it's a new job, it's a promotion, it could be a shift, okay? But take already as little as a compliment. And sometimes a compliment is huge because we remember those. And it gives us a bit of courage, right? So that would be my message for you, my lovely Scorpio. And until next time, let's move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. We have this full moon in your fellow fire sign at 13 degrees in your ninth house. So you're going to be especially impacted, right, if you're around 13-degree ascendant. Now, this is a time where some of you will travel. Easiest travel will be overseas, but if you're going to do a short trip, please, Sagittarius, be mindful driving. We have Pluto and Mars together, right? This is like a lot of anger will be coming up, and you're going to be angry driving, and something might happen. So meditate first, relax, and then drive. Same with transport. If you're buying transport, double check everything. Don't make impulsive buys right now. How do you say that? Buys? Buys. Don't buy impulsively. Yeah. And also, third house is communication, right? So you might be quite blunt or quite direct, but at the same time, whatever it is that when you're teaching it, it's going to be way better recognized. Okay. But closer communication, just watch the way you are explaining things and don't stick to the facts. Okay. Stick to the facts and add some experience to it, because ninth house is also about experience, facts versus experiences. This is going to be the best way because we have these two houses in opposition. So we have to work with this balance, okay? So teach from facts and experience. And also, don't forget the facts and don't just talk about experience. Like, make a mix of both of them. If you're studying, you could be almost obsessed because Pluto is quite obsessed. I do like Pluto in the third house with Mars as well. Like, you really want to know everything. So if you're doing research, this is very, very good. Okay. You can really dive into, maybe not sleeping and really reading and studying and diving into certain subjects. So yeah, that would be the very positive side of this placement. Yes, placement. So short trips, be a bit careful. Also, siblings. We have the Sun, Venus, and Mercury also together, right? These are more harmonious. So if you're angry towards a neighbor or a sibling or someone in your immediate environment, just calm down first, right? Or be angry first, but be angry by yourself and come back and have the conversation. Because Pluto wants to transform. It's just that Mars is aggressive. I want to talk about it now. I want to say it now. And if I have learned something, and I'm trying my best, right? But it's very helpful to not talk when you're angry because you're going to say things that you regret, right? So it's better to first come back to yourself and then have the conversation. Really compartmentalize, and especially fire signs, you can fire coming in the face and like, let's talk about this now. But it's not always the best way, okay? So studying, very good. There might be some obstacles. If anything comes up, it's just, insecurity. Am I saying this right? Make sure that you're prepared. Face these fears of communication, okay? Because it's very normal that sometimes we become insecure. Am I saying the right thing? This didn't come out right. So do your preparation. At the same time, you have a high focus, okay? You can really focus on studying something and don't drive angry. Let me get you a card, Sag. Let me get you a card. Whom do you need to forgive? Yeah, maybe that's a neighbor. Maybe that's a sibling. Maybe yourself for thinking that you didn't say the right thing. For thinking that, yeah, that sometimes your words don't matter. Maybe you feel that people don't listen or someone is not listening, but you have to understand that sometimes you're having a conversation with someone and that person is just not there yet. So you're trying to make a point and that person is not there yet to process that point. And there might come a time where that will happen. But yeah, it's not always at the same time as you. This I got for a lot of signs. So connect to nature. Take some time in nature. Okay. We have Mercury there in the third house, also squaring Uranus in the sixth. So you might have some really brilliant ideas that change the way you work, maybe your routines, maybe these ideas that you have are you're going to be assigned to a new project or some new clients because of a change that you made. So just watch the sharp communication and prepare yourself well, do your research, and you're going to be just fine. My amazing Sagittarius. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, let's move on to Capricorn. My lovely Capricorn sun, moon, and rising. For you, we have this full moon in Leo at 13 degrees in your eighth house. So this has to do with transformation. This has to do with other people's money and how you divide the money, because we're talking now about an opposition. So the sun is there in the second house. So how to divide your income with your partner's income. Maybe you need to talk about that. How are we going to save money for that house that we want, or that, I don't know, the desk we want in the house, or the couch. So the second house is about your possessions, right? And the eighth house is more on how can we save money together? How do we need a bank account? What do we need to get what we want? So this is something to talk about. If you're single, this is also a, single or in a relationship, this accounts for both. It could be about how to distribute your money. Maybe you want to make some investments. It's time to get papers in order. Okay, taxes, paperwork, insurances, pensions, all these things. Okay. Um, if you're in a divorce, it's gonna be quite amicable. Okay, unless someone is touching your money, too much of your money, because then the second house will be activated and it will cause, Pluto and Mars to feel like some unfairness there. Okay. So see how you can harmonize things, because we have the sun, we have Venus and Mercury there in the second house. So how can you mediate? How can you compromise without giving up your self-value, all your materials, right? You want to make sure that things are divided in the right way. Also a time for transformation. Jupiter there in the eighth house. Jupiter. The moon in Leo there in the eighth house. It's about learning to release some of your fears. So maybe some fears regarding money, regarding even relationships, right? If you're single, you could have some fears of losing this independence in relationships, or financial independence. Like you want to keep your independence, and that's totally possible, right? For everyone, there is a person that is suiting for you. Okay. Jupiter there in the seventh house, it's going to go direct in March. So big chance of meeting someone new. Okay. For the caps that are single, it's a really good time to mingle after March, especially. Okay. And it's trining the North Node in the third house. So could even come through a trip, a short journey, something like that. Okay. So everything finance, transformations, healing, all the uncomfortable feelings you have towards intimacy. And it doesn't have to be physical, right? The eighth house is where you learn how to open up to someone, like also communication, learning how to be yourself. We're talking about Leo here, fifth house, to be your creative self, to be like, to be also a bit like a child and feel open and not ashamed that you need to be polished when you're in a relationship. Okay. So yeah, avoid impulsive buying as well. We have Pluto and Mars there in the second house. We have Venus also likes to buy things. So if you buy something, do you really need it, Capricorn, or you just feel like you want to spend your money? Yeah, breakthrough in resolving fears of being seen, being worthy of money and love. So now is the time to let go and say, you know what? I have nothing to worry. I can just be myself. I don't have to be locking myself up. Okay. Whenever you are in a relationship, or even just self-worth of money. Like some people are afraid to ask more money, or are afraid um to value themselves because they're afraid that people will walk away. It's a fear, right? So there's a massive chance of healing there. Express your individuality. Look at that, Capricorn. Isn't that beautiful? Allow your true self to shine because you're awesome. I think that's great. Admit your true feelings to yourself, right? So maybe there is something that you know is there, but you haven't had the time to actually admit how you're feeling towards money, how you're feeling in relationships. And now is the time to transform that, okay? Watch out with overspending on romance. We have a square with Mercury in the second and Uranus in the fifth. So it could be overspending on, spending all your money on romance, dates, but also creative projects or children where you feel like, I need this, I need that. See what you truly need. Do some research. I'm getting here. So do some research before you buy anything, before you settle anything. Okay. But yeah, you might find some good ways for investment. Just do a lot of research and don't be afraid to be yourself. That would be my message for you, my lovely Capricorn. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, let's move to Aquarius. So, Aquarius, Sun and Rising. Well, first of all, happy birthday to my lovely sun sign and sunshine, Aquarius. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely day. It's a good time to manifest because the sun is transiting over your sun. So that's why we make a wish and spread it into the universe. So, yeah, Aquarius, we have this full moon in Leo in your seventh house. So you might meet someone new for some of you, okay? Attracting a new relationship. But with Mars and Pluto there in the first house, you might go a little too fast. I want to explore this. I want to know what this is about, okay? This could also mean existing relationship where you are overly giving. So now is the time to balance, right? Being recognized for who you are, letting go of control, very important with Pluto in the first house or Pluto close to your ascendant, Aquarius. Let go of control of how things should go in relationships. Business partnerships as well. Seventh house is business partnerships, clients, one-on-one clients. Like make sure that you don't need to control the whole outcome. Let it go and see where things take you, right? Because normally you're not like that, but Pluto transiting your sign is making you a bit more that way because you're ruled by Uranus. You want to see where things, you're so open, and suddenly there's this fear coming up, okay? And there's no shame in that because Pluto brings out all that is there in the underworld, all the fears. So you have this opportunity now to heal your identity and to see actually, why am I not attracting the person that is good for me? Why do I have obstacles in my relationship? Now is the time to heal that, okay? Um, Not giving up yourself to stay in a relationship. Yeah, huge transformation in identity. And maybe it's internal, and some of you are gonna go for a new look as well, okay? Now, I have to say, Mars and Pluto is not great for extreme new looks, okay? You could do that, but don't be too impulsive about it. Changes to the face, right? Changes to looks. Know that you're beautiful as you are, okay? I know we see so much out there where people change so many things about themselves, and we don't need to change so much, right? Like you're beautiful as you are, so keep that in mind. um yeah, changing the way you see yourself through relationships. So it might be that you have a whole new look of yourself. Maybe you've met someone, you're like, oh, I didn't know I was doing that, or I didn't know that things can be this way too. So transformation that is always positive. Don't remember that. Even if things are a bit difficult, it's always to benefit you. Balance yourself with your relationship, healing the self, true self-love. So maybe there's this sentence, why not me? Well, why not? We're equal to everyone. Aquarius, your sign is about equality. So if other people, why not you? Right? Like sometimes it's just about timing, and astrology as well. It's about timing and readiness because sometimes I see timing of someone can attract someone new or a new job or relationship, but we also need the eyes to see it, right? If we are focused on what is not good for us, what is desire, what is, this hunger for desire, we're going to look in the wrong direction. The right person can be right next to you and you're not even seeing it because you're so focused on desire and short-term things, right? With work as well, sometimes we have to be patient and we have to build towards something, okay? So no matter what your situation is, you're going to see yourself in a different light, and you're going to also get a lot of answers. So the transformations you're going through, they're going to give you rewards in the end, okay? Debt's paid off. Look at that. You're paying off debt. You're starting to see what you can change. And it's actually Pluto is just the fast track to solve your lessons, okay? Alrighty. Express your individuality. Look at that. Be yourself. Be yourself in relationships. And you will attract someone that's gonna love you just for who you are, right? And the same is for jobs, for friends. Like you have to be yourself. Like if you're trying to be someone that you're not, which I've done that in the past, right? Like I wanted to be in a business, be in a company. That was not something that my heart wanted. It was something that I thought would be good for me, but it was not something that I wanted with my heart. But I had to be very patient because it's not like a quick fix, like tomorrow I'm going to have the job that I want. No, it takes years studying, preparing, and making the switch slowly. Okay. And if you have that persistence with Pluto in the first house, is going to give you that persistence. You're going to do so great. Also, not a great time to sit still, Aquarius. Okay. So keep moving, do some sports, not extreme, okay? Because Pluto Mars is quite like accident prone. So be in your body and don't go too angry towards something, okay? Practice, practice, practice. Look at that. You're working towards something. Like some of your carriers are working towards something, and the long-term things with your open-mindedness to change, to be open to change, it's gonna bring you to the next stage of life. So yeah, that's my message for you, my amazing Aquarius. Thanks you so much for being here. And until next time, let's move on to Pisces. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. For you, we have this full moon in Leo at 13 degrees in your sixth house. Now, Pisces, this is a time to listen to your body. Listen to what your body needs. Does it need rest? If your body is saying, I'm so tired, take some rest. It's okay to do nothing sometimes, okay? Sometimes we are so used to run, run, run. We are in a society where everybody's always running. And taking a break is good as well, okay? It's gonna feel kind of weird because we have the Leo moon in the sixth house. So for most of you, yeah, you could be recognized in work. And maybe after this recognition, maybe you can rest a little bit. Maybe you finish a project and it's just like, take some time for yourself. Pluto and Mars in the 12th house is like, I want to rest, but I can't. I want to rest, but maybe I have to do something, okay? So you can do some sports at home. You can do some hikes, some walks. Aquarius loves to walk in the mountains or in fresh air. Take a break where needed, okay? Take it one step at a time, and also wherever you feel you need diet changes, listen to that, okay? It could even be that you're already working on that, Pisces, and that it's actually starting to take off, that you're like, I have had this journey of watching my health, doing this diet, right? But working out 6 times a week, sometimes your body needs a little bit of rest. So make sure to listen to that, okay? They want food. They're scratching the chair. They're walking behind me, but I'm not letting myself be distracted. So I'm getting a bit of doubt, Pisces. Like sometimes I feel that you're doubting if you're doing enough. Like I'm not doing enough. I should do more. But sometimes less is more. Sometimes rest is recharging, getting new ideas, and going much faster after. So listen to your body. I'm getting discipline. Look at that. After Saturn, well, Saturn is still in your sign, but on the 13th, it's going to go to the second house. But you learn discipline, okay? Saturn in the first house is about responsibility and discipline. And I would say you pretty much nailed it, okay? But if your body says rest, then listen. Forgiveness, okay? Forgive yourself that you do enough and you take it one step at a time. Okay. So recognize yourself as well for that. Inner fears, restlessness coming up. Yeah. Because 12th house can bring up sometimes phobias from past life, could even be like fear of heights, fear of something. Any fear coming up is most likely also related to past lives. Okay. A new pet that comes in that makes you spend more time at home. Sixth house, moon is in Leo, is beautiful, right? A pet can really make you feel playful and creative and can make your life so beautiful and helps you also sometimes rest. Work and rest balance is very important. Okay, changing jobs, resting before your new job starts as well. Sixth house is usually a similar job. Okay, it's not like a complete different thing. 10th house is more related to um, starting a company or starting a complete, you could do something different or really get a much higher position. This is more 10th house. Sixth house is change a company, similar job, could be a better payment, right? Because you're not changing for nothing. But something that you're good at, you feel comfortable with, and it's highlighting your routine, okay? We have Mercury there in the 12th house. So some of you might be having trouble sleeping around this full moon because there's so much in the 12th house. You could be having very vivid dreams. Write them down because some are indicating some new ideas. And it's very close to the fourth house cusp. So even maybe an idea on where you would like to move next in your life. Okay. Because we have Mercury square Uranus, trips you want to make and things like that. So overall, it's a positive time, but listen to your body. It's so important, right? A lot of you have been doing so well with discipline. So compliment yourself and wishing you all the best. Have a lovely day. And until next time, thank you.